Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for real producers by real producers and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers. We're also powered by Top Producers Nation, which you can check out at topproducersnation.com to learn more about how to become a top producer in your desired market. We have resources there for you and a community there for you to help you do just that. So today, we get to hang out with Josh Volk. How are you, Josh?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here, man. Josh is battling a back injury because he's such a big weightlifter at the gym, and he just had to get himself beat up a little bit before the podcast. So Josh was featured, if he looks familiar to you, in our December 2024 feature. You can see here his spotlight behind us. Josh was our Rising Star in the December issue of Tampa Bay Real Producers. Josh is with Agile Group Realty. And so shout out to Matt and the boys out there with Agile. I know we've had not Matt on the show, but I'm sorry.
You had Matt on.
Oh, we did have Matt on the show. Yeah, what am I talking about?
And so, I'm on his team, the Apex team under Agile.
The Apex team, and Josh is on the squad. So Josh, this is his first full year in real estate, and has had a great first full year. We were talking about it a little bit off camera. Did just under $10 million in his first full year. So we're definitely going to dive into that. But before we do that, let's start with your background, for people to get to know your story a little bit more. So what were you doing before real estate? Did you grow up in Tampa? If not, how did you get to Tampa? We'll start there.
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town in western New York, near Buffalo. Go Bills.
So did Matt, right?
So did Matt. So yeah. Matt and Kyle are both my team leaders. We all went to the same high school back home.
Oh, wow.
They graduated a few years ahead of me, but we've always had that connection.
Okay.
Had mutual friends back home. So always stayed in contact. They've been down here a lot longer than me. I just moved down here last year when I got my real estate license.
Nice.
Grew up small town kid my whole life.
Were they in contact with you when they were down here building and trying to get in your ear to come on down to Florida? Or
yeah. So Matt and I talked quite a bit. So my old job, I worked road construction. So in the wintertime, I'd be laid off. So I'd be in Florida a lot, snowbirding in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. I'd always chat with Matt. I'd always see his success. He would tell me a lot of times, why are you going back? There's plenty more out there for you. Mm-hmm. Your potential's more than just being in your hometown. And so that kind of resonated for a while. Years went on. I saw their success, just kind of kept chipping away at me. And, things happened in life with my job, and felt like I kind of maxed out my potential and kind of hit my ceiling, and wanted more out of things. And conversations were had, and here we are.
So when did you move to Tampa?
So I moved to Tampa in July when I got my real estate license.
Okay, so you dove right in.
Yep.
You got licensed very safe. So when you moved down, it sounds like you knew right away you were going to get into real estate with the team.
Yeah, so I have a friend down in Fort Myers, so I stayed there for a couple months as I was finishing up my license. Actually was waiting tables down there just until I got my license, and as soon as I could, signed up for the test, passed it, and the next day in Agile's office getting interviewed, and the following day Matt and I are on the phone. Let's get to work.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that a little bit. So obviously you had some immediate success, but I'm assuming you also had a lot of challenges in your first year in the business. So have you ever had a commission-based job before, or was this completely new to you?
Completely new. And that was probably the hardest part. Even still now, it's getting better, just understanding it more, but being able to manage the highs and manage the lows and kind of long-term plan. I'm used to having a paycheck every Friday.
Totally.
So here, I could have
a big change.
I could have a very good one, but the next very good one, who knows?
Might not be for 6 months.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was a little bit, hard to get used to. It's getting better. I mean, it's just a little as experience goes.
Totally. So how long did it take you to get your first deal?
9 days.
Oh, wow. So it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a network down here though, right?
No. I pretty much just started hat in hand.
Yeah.
Just
so what did you do? What was your initial strategy?
So I had a couple lead sources I was getting from the brokerage. Mm-hmm. Matt and Kyle were kind of giving me a hand with that as well. The biggest thing to get out in front of people was open houses. Mm-hmm. First 3 months, I probably did one, if not two, every single weekend. Mm-hmm. Was able to get a couple deals from them. It was like my second month, I think. I got one, in the 800, right around the 800 range.
Cool.
Not knowing anyone, being able to just
people you met at open houses.
people I met at open houses, and A, finding business, but B, also just getting in front of people and just kind of working on your craft and preparing yourself. It's basically a cold meeting. So when you cold call, you just kind of revert back to that on, hey, this is what worked. Hey, this is what didn't. Okay, let's not do that again. Let's try a different approach. So just getting experience.
Yeah.
And really, the only way I know is just jumping in the deep end and figuring it out.
Yeah, man. And in your first full year, I mentioned earlier, you did just under 10 million and over 30 transactions, which is, again, it's a really solid first full year. Congratulations. A lot of people, it takes them multiple years to even get to that 10 million mark, and you're basically knocking on the door of that in your first full year. So of these 30 transactions that you served, how many were buyers versus listings?
So mostly buyers.
Buyer side, yep.
If I had to pin it down, I think it was 25 and 5.
Okay.
25-6.
Got it.
Somewhere around there, but mostly buyers. Definitely a road warrior. Pretty much go anywhere.
Are they all over Tampa Bay, basically?
And beyond.
And beyond?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a listing in Gainesville, and then I've done multiple sales in Ocala. Been as far south as Cape Coral area.
Okay.
So kind of a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah.
Just
And
did one
are
in
these,
Orlando as well.
Lead sources just from, you mentioned open houses as one of the things, so some of these might be from the brokerage, it sounds like, as well. Are there other strategies or anything else that you've done that you feel like has been profitable for you in year one?
So most of what I'm getting is mostly from my team, mostly from Matt and Kyle.
Okay.
So we've partnered with them.
And their leads sounds like are coming in from all over the place, huh?
Yeah, mostly internet leads.
Yeah.
We do have a partnership with Mike Brennan at Rocket Mortgage, so we get some from him as well. So mainly team stuff.
Yep.
Some here and there from self-generated, just from people I met at open houses. I'm starting to see people I've done deals with at the very beginning. I'm starting to get referrals from them, family members, friends.
Yep.
So just still kind of building the farm.
How important, Josh, do you think it is for a newer agent who wants to see, your level of success in their first full year to hook up with the right team? Has that been a huge part of your success, it sounds like?
I'd say it's one of the biggest parts, at least for me. Definitely having a team that they've been successful as a single agent, so they kind of know what you're going through. They know how to help you. And also for me, not everyone might be in this situation. It's people I've known a long time. It's people I trust.
Totally.
It's more than just a work relationship, which was a big deal for me to move down here because, quitting a job
you didn't
for
really
15
know anybody
years,
down here, right?
not
Other
knowing
than them?
anyone here.
Yeah.
To have a little bit of that security, knowing that, I'm going to work with my brothers, not just, coworkers, was definitely a big confidence boost for me. And I knew as long as I put in the work myself, like, they're not going to let me fail.
Yep.
Like, it's kind of a team effort kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that we've talked about that with a bunch of people on the show, especially with newer agents, like figuring out what to look for in a team. Or, some people get a little bit caught up maybe on, I don't know if I want to share my commissions with a team. I can just do it on my own. And maybe there's a time for that at some point when you've kind of built up your own thing and have your own flow of stuff. But especially for new people, I feel like it's so critical to have that structure and that support, in some way. And obviously it's worked for you in your first full year here. What in your year now that you've been a year in and you can kind of look back to see how this has shaken out for you, what's been the most fulfilling part, would you say, of the career you've had so far that you've been building with real estate?
Just really seeing the impact, like with my clients, just actually feeling like you made a difference with someone. I mean, obviously, this is our business, paychecks are needed, but to help someone who's just completely lost at the beginning, and just being able to fill in the blanks, being able to guide them, just super rewarding and super fulfilling, just being able to feel like you made a difference with someone.
Sure. Is there a certain type of client that you've kind of found a little niche with, or is it all different types of clients?
Usually first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
Someone kind of in my age demographic, just coming in, hey, I don't know where to start. This is a long process. I'm nervous, but I know I want to buy a house. Like, those are kind of my favorite. I start to smile because I know, like, I'm a good fit for them. I like to be very informative and help along the way. I like to feel like I have quite a bit of patience. So when they ask the same question over and over, like, hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm here to help. And it definitely,
now
I feel
you have a
like-
track record, right, of success with people like that. It sounds like that you've helped. So I would imagine that would add confidence to any first-time home buyer's experience, is you can kind of tell them, here's where you're heading, right? Here's the story. Here's an example of this person we helped, and this person and that person, and what they felt. And they had the same question that you had, but look at where they are now. And so I could see where that story is a big part of your success ultimately, is helping people see that vision.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I had, two of my favorites that so far, over the first year, and both first-time home buyers. One didn't think they could financially afford it. The other one just thought it was too confusing and too frustrating. And, both times, little different scenarios, but not only got to the closing table, but saw tears on closing day, and they were so happy and so thankful. I still talk to them weekly. Cool. Holidays just happen. They're sending me pictures like in their house with their family, and like I feel a part of that. Like I feel I helped accomplish that goal with them. Yeah,
man, that's huge. Absolutely. For most people, it's still always going to be the biggest investment they ever make in their life, right?
Yep.
And so there's always going to be that emotional tie. Do you find any other people of your network from up north in New York that want to make the same transition to Florida, and that you can either help from a real estate side or maybe even want to get into the business like you have?
Yeah, I've had a couple, mostly people that are realtors back home. Mm-hmm. So where I'm from, completely different real estate market and different world.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple of people, they've been at it much longer than me. First, they're just super proud and happy, always congratulating me on successes I've had, but then they start kicking the tires and asking more questions.
Yep.
And, hey, if I wanted to make that move, kind of thing.
Makes sense. How many, were you working harder than you thought you were going to work in this first full year?
Yeah. The old cliche, it's not work if you like what you do,
sure,
kind of thing. So there's a lot of times that I am putting in work or sweat equity, but to me, I love the grind, so it's fun, and it's all part of the journey kind of thing. So at times, it's more mental stress than I guess I was anticipating.
Mm-hmm. Is that coming from the uncertainty of on the pay side, or other things?
A little bit of that, or just from the beginning to the end of a deal, just how many hiccups and roadblocks can enter.
Yeah.
And also, being new, I don't say no kind of to anything. So there's a lot of leads that come to me that someone more seasoned just didn't want to deal with, or hey, that's not my lane anymore. So there's a lot of them that I'm just plugging along.
Which is probably great for your experience, though, right?
I agree.
Learning how to tackle all these different obstacles, and maybe eventually, again, that could change as you identify that lane and know where it might fall for you. But in the meantime, I think this is the season to learn as much as you can.
I agree. So I hear all the time from Matt and Kyle, I'll ask them a question, or, hey, this happened to me. And they kind of giggle because it's turned it's getting very repetitive. We've been doing this 7-8 years, and I've never ran into that, or I've never ran into that. And now, man, where are you uncovering all these, roadblocks?
Yeah.
Just, I'm willing to take kind of anything and everything and see it to the end. Like, I'm not going to give up, and so
yeah. Have any other agents on your team been able to replicate your success in their first year, or are you kind of looked at now as the guy you want to follow if you're new in the business?
I mean that's not a question I want to answer. You can ask them. But we have some new.
It's all right, man. It's all right. I think why I bring that up is because my background is in sales management. I used to run teams for Cutco, the knife selling. We talked about that at an MVP social, I think. But we used to purposely look for that one new sales rep who would go out and crush it, right? And we would, strategically figure out in advance who hopefully that would be. Sometimes we'd be surprised, though, by who that was. But it was really critical in our organization to have that, what we would call rabbit, that would lead the pace, and many times they were a new person who would kind of set new expectations and new standards. And from a culture standpoint, that does a lot, right, for an organization when you can have a person to point to, and it gives belief to everybody else, right, that it is possible. It's one thing if it's coming from Matt and the leaders because they're supposed to act that way. They're supposed to be, talking about belief and possibilities. But if they can see it from their peers, that it makes all the difference in the world. So I can see you being a huge, and again, that not necessarily something that you have to be concerned about, but the role that you would play in that fit, I think, would play a big role. Maybe that's more of a Matt question.
Yeah, but I know when they do interview people to possibly be on the team, I know I'm talked about quite a bit in those, and then I always try to help as much as I can too. So we've had a few new agents that I've really tried to kind of mentor with Matt and Kyle, but also it's coming from someone that just did it. It's coming from someone that's still going through those early growing pains or roadblocks or struggles, or, we're all kind of thinking the same way.
Yeah.
So I always try to help any way I can with anyone on my team. We got a couple newer agents that are starting to find success, and hopefully, as a team, we can continue just together to keep growing that.
Yeah, man. So what's 2025 bring for you? What are you most excited about this year and moving forward?
Just to keep growing, just still trying to figure out Tampa. Maybe have a little more of a social life. We'll see if we can get there. There isn't much of one right now, but that's okay.
You haven't had time for that yet, huh?
No, I kind of told myself 3 years with my head down, and we'll come up for air after that and see where we're at.
So you're halfway through, basically?
That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
So far, I feel like I've exceeded my expectations. I'm my hardest and worst critic. I can always do better. I can always do more. And, I'm always staying hungry to keep pursuing. Like, complacency is just not a thing at the moment. But I still feel like I have, even in year 2, year 3, there's still plenty of goals I need to achieve.
So when you think about those goals for this year, are there do you view it as like new strategies that you're going to try to tackle, or a new strategy or something that you want to do different this year? Or is it more of the same and just doubling down on what's been working?
A little bit of both, I'd say. So more, on the forefront of business and, putting deals together, kind of just doubling down. But more of the behind the scenes, definitely organization, definitely staying organized, continuing to learn more about CRMs. Never used one before until now in sales. I know how.
Does your team provide that?
They do.
Yep.
They get on me pretty good that I need to be better at it. I was never one to show his work, kind of thing.
I hear you there.
So I get the work.
It takes some getting used to.
I get the work done, but as far as someone jumping in to see where I'm at,
right?
Yeah,
the pipeline isn't quite updated,
so to speak.
Which I understand. Yes, I've lived that world myself.
But definitely, just trying to build just some more self-generated business. At the end of the day, it could be the same purchase price, same commission, but how you got that lead is everything, right?
Totally. Yep.
So if I found that on my own versus from a referral network, that looks a lot different.
Yep.
Once it gets to me.
Yep.
So just trying to, kind of build my own personal stuff, which is, just getting out there, still trying to hit open houses here and there. I don't do as many as when I started, but still kind of playing the hits and doing what worked.
Yeah.
Even in the very beginning.
Yeah, man. No, it makes a lot of sense for sure. And sometimes when you're in your position after completing a great first year, it can get tricky for certain people because opportunities sometimes can open up to pursue different things and try new things. And that could be a good thing, right? It could actually help the business, but it also could be like chasing a bunch of shiny pennies and nothing really moves. And then you end up actually losing what was working, right? Before. So there is a balance there. That's why I asked the question to just kind of get a feel for what your thought process was like moving forward, because you don't want to take a step back, of course, after a great first year and see where that might go. What does your vision take you, Josh, say 5 years from now? Do you see yourself as just a top producing individual agent? Do you want to build your own team one day? What have you thought about?
I haven't thought too far ahead. That, I know with what I'm doing now seems to be working and I enjoy it. As time goes on, my previous job, I kind of thought, I like just being a laborer and being the best laborer. And, 7, 8 years in, I got into management in that job and liked it. So could be the same path. For right now, it's just kind of go with what I know. I know that I just want to be the top agent for my guys. I want to be a top agent.
Who was the top agent in your office?
In the office? So she'll be on next week, Cezanne. She is featured.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I look forward to meeting her. I know we featured her, but I haven't met her yet.
She's impressive. She's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
She has a cool story, too. Isn't she from Iraq, I believe?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to meeting her for sure. So she's the one to take down, huh?
I don't know
just
if
kidding, just kidding.
I don't know if I talk like that, but
that's okay. I can say it. You can't. I can say whatever the heck I want, thankfully.
I got a lot of work to do to get there. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's cool to have somebody, though, that, I don't know how long Cezanne's been in the business, but having somebody to look up to and be able to kind of go after, I think you seem like a guy who likes sports and is in the athletic side. So that competition part of it also makes it fun,
It does.
As long as it's friendly competition.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So let's talk a little bit about some of the personal side for people to get to know you a little bit more. So what do you love to do for fun? I know you've been working so hard that hasn't been happening a lot, but what are some of your hobbies and interests?
Yeah, it's the social life's definitely taken a back seat. But I've definitely gotten into, just focusing on my health, making some big lifestyle changes over the last few years.
While you're not hurting yourself?
Well, I'm not hurting myself. Yeah, so just, a healthier way of eating, staying active, hitting the gym. I do like the golf. Not that great at it. Haven't played a lot. I've always been a bowler.
You didn't play in our tournament, did you?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
We'll have to have you next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been a bowler. It's a Northeast thing. It's always been my niche.
Yeah.
Pretty good at it. Done it my whole life.
So that's your gift, huh?
I guess. Wish I
Any
had a
perfect
different
games?
24, I believe.
Really?
Think
Wow. So you do have a gift for the bowling. I've never thrown a perfect game in my life, but I don't know what I would do if I actually bowled a 300 one day.
Yeah, it's just something I grew up. My family was always big into it.
Yeah.
Winter sport and
Are
everything.
you a member of a league at all, or?
Yeah. I just got back into it down here.
Cool.
So I do bowl in a league.
Okay.
And it's kind of getting the competitive juices.
Where do you live?
flowing
South
again.
Tampa, or?
I live in Lutz.
You live in Lutz. Okay. Did you buy a house when you came down here? Or are you renting?
Nope, just waiting, going straight 1099. So,
Yeah, I hear you.
Taking a couple of years to make sure.
Yeah, those tax returns is a different ball game when you got to show the income off a 1099. I've been there since I was 18 years old, so I can relate to that too. I know you said, do you have a girlfriend?
I do not.
No relationship now? So maybe we can help with that, Josh. So Josh is a single guy, if any ladies are out there and you're looking for a successful man who's fit and loves bowling, you got your man right here, all right? He doesn't have any time for you, but other than that, other than that, Josh is here for you.
You pretty much got it all in about 15 seconds.
That's right. That's it, man. I know the story here. I'm here to help. We're matchmakers, aren't we, Rob? We like to help the people.
First, we got to change bowling to pin chasing.
Yes,
Sounds so much sexier.
that's true.
Okay.
That's true. I used to bowl up in Connecticut. You ever play duck pin bowling?
A few times.
Yeah, I used to do the duck pin thing I was in a league. I was, young. I was probably 10 years old, something like that. But I used to crush the duck pin game. Absolutely. That's a different world, though. You get 3 balls versus 2, and it's a whole different animal back then. So.
Yeah, I've done like string bowling and duck pin, but only a few times.
Yeah, then there's like the needle pins, I think they call it.
No, there's candle pin.
Candle pin, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know where the hell I got needle pin from, but yes. candle pin bowling, that's right. So again, ladies, if you love bowling, Josh is your man. Hit him up, and I'm sure you guys will have fun when you see him once a year or so. So other than that, what else do you do for fun? Bowling, and is that pretty much the extent for now, other than working?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Just try to hang out with friends, try to make new friends.
Sure.
I always make.
Was it hard for you to do that in a new area, or have you loved living in Tampa?
I'm still getting there. It's definitely a way change of pace.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever like the traffic. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I make jokes. I have friends that come down in the wintertime. They're here now, and me and him go fishing quite a bit. But I said, with you two down here now, my friend network has doubled. I went from 2 to 4 friends. So that's exciting.
So you're more of that small town guy, huh?
A little bit. It's just really, I'm just priorities,
Sure.
I completely changed paths, lifestyles, moved away. And it's a job where the more you put into it, you can move up the ladder quicker.
Yeah.
So why not throw everything you have at it? I understand.
Absolutely.
I don't have these other responsibilities that some people my age do. I don't have kids I have to take to practice and take shopping, and I don't have a wife that I have to, work on things with too. Like it's just me. I put my head down and.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I have all that stuff.
You're right. And I mean, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it can get lonely. Sometimes it's, what am I chasing here?
Sure.
It's just kind of having that.
You think you want a family? You're not sure.
We'll see where life takes me.
How old are you now?
36.
Okay, so you got some time.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, how old was I got married, Rob? I was 32. I was 32 when I got married. So yeah, I was younger than you, Josh. I'm gonna get kicking here, but. Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to find their path, and you just got into real estate a year ago. So I think these first couple of years, as you said, are really about building that future, that foundation.
Yeah, Kyle
did a great job.
When I first started, we always like to make analogies, and Kyle made the analogy of it being a farm, and you have to plant your seeds, right, to have your crops grow.
Yep.
And the more seeds you plant, obviously, the bigger farm you can have.
Without a doubt.
We've always just kind of used that as our analogy, and he'll call me like, hey, how'd those go last couple days? And they're not quite ready now. He's like, that's all right. Like you planted something in the farm.
Yep.
Something planted.
And that's where the CRM could come in handy, is if you utilize that for follow-up systems and allowing that as a tool to, a lot of people drop the ball on what it's really supposed to be used for, but that extra communication so that you can follow up and consistently try to plant those seeds or water the seeds and nurture them.
Yep.
That's really what it's all about.
Agreed.
Yeah, it makes sense. So a couple rapid fire questions for you, Josh. Do you have a favorite book, author, seminar at all that you've ever attended that you feel like has made an impact on you?
So last year, when I was kind of deciding, do I want to make this huge life change, my trainer Adam sent me a book by David Goggins called Can't Hurt Me. Mm-hmm. It's like timing and everything to read that book. Like it was like the perfect book to read then.
Cool.
Pretty motivating. I don't know how much you know about him, but
I've heard him on podcasts and stuff. I've never read his book though.
He's had a couple of books.
Yeah.
But it was, like I said, just timing and everything. It was where.
He's an old military guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was he a Navy SEAL or?
Yeah, he was a SEAL, and he was always, so before he got in wanting to be in the military, he was also very big. He was much overweight. He lost a lot of weight. Now he runs.
Yeah,
does Ironman.
crazy fit.
Yeah, crazy fit. Just his whole story was just really interesting. Just to me, it was kind of you don't think you can make this big change, and then you kind of see someone that did it, and then sometimes like when you're feeling bad about yourself, to read something that, hey, there's a lot of people that have it much harder out there than you. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta.
Absolutely. Have you ever read anything or heard of Jocko Willink?
I have not.
So he's an old Marine. I think he's an ex-Marine, might be Navy SEAL as well. He wrote a book called Extreme Ownership, which I think is very relevant to success in real estate as well. He's just about those specific. Now he uses a lot of the stories of his military background and like the planning and the discipline and the execution and the debriefing and everything that went into fulfilling a mission, right, on the military side, and how that portrays into the business world. Right, so it was fascinating, and I think it's his background and story. I think it's similar to Goggins, so that's why I brought it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no doubt. You probably enjoy that too. You can check it out if you want. Extreme Ownership, Rob. All right, check that out too when you get a chance.
How do you know I'm over here taking notes?
What was my other question for you? Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
So favorite movie is Wedding Crashers. I'm a big Vince Vaughn guy.
Are you?
Find him
like
very
the comedy
funny.
side?
Yeah. So he just had a show on Apple. It's the first time he's been back in a long time, called Bad Monkey. So I just got into that. I just finished that. That was.
Is it like a comedy stand-up?
No, it's a comedy, but he's a detective.
Oh, it's a show.
It's a
Okay.
comedy in like not a comedy world. Like
Gotcha.
He's a detective. There's been murders, but
I'll have to check it out. Apple
Vince
TV?
Vaughn. Yeah.
Okay. Bad Monkey. Have you seen that yet, Rob?
It's a good
Not
one.
me neither. Let's put it on the list, man. We get a lot of good ideas here for sure. You have a favorite food?
Pizza.
Okay. So that's a cheap date. Some lady wants to impress you, and
Bowling and pizza.
that's it. I know you're always working,
Man,
but you got to eat pizza sometimes. So
Right,
maybe
yeah,
if
that's definitely the cheap meal of
yes,
choice.
yeah. You said you live in Lutz though, so is there like a favorite pizza restaurant by you?
Not really. I mean, I don't eat it a ton.
Yeah.
I've tried a few places. Still not New York.
Still looking for the New York style stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a pizza fan myself. There is a spot called Fresco's, but it's up on here. It's 54 down the road. You probably checked out Fresco's before, and they do a pretty legit pie. It's a New York style over there. So just a little thought, you can check that out. And they're not that far from Lutz in case you need a little advice.
Gotcha. I've done Eddie and Sam's.
Is that down by you?
That's downtown,
Got it.
but
Okay.
it's New York style. They bring the water in.
Oh, the one right in downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we go take the kids to the Straz Center, that's usually where we stop by too. Right around the corner from there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I used to go to University of Tampa, so that was kind of a spot that we would check out as well down there.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're gonna put a bow here on what I would call the legacy question. I think it's cool talking to you. First year in real estate, a lot of people struggle, as we know, in their first year. And I think you made a decision to commit to it. And one of the reasons why I think people struggle is they don't commit to it right away, or maybe they do eventually. But that decision that you made to burn the boats and just dive right in, and knowing that you had some uncertainties with never getting not getting paid every Friday and not knowing when that commission check's going to come, there's a lot of fear there. But you overcame it, and you're, maybe there's still some of that fear that exists, but you've been plowing through it anyway with the action. So I applaud you for that, and hopefully all the best to you in 2025 and beyond. But one day you'll probably be looking back and thinking about what you'd want to be most remembered for, right? What you'd want that legacy to be, whether that's family, personal, or professionally. What are some thoughts that come to mind for you, Josh, as far as what type of legacy you'd want to be most remembered for?
I mean, I, of course, want to be successful, right? But I'd rather be remembered for just who I am as a person, just my kindness, always looking out for others, always putting others, before myself, whether it's friends, whether it's family. But really just want to be known for, how I treated others. Times we live in now are not probably what I thought of maybe 20 years ago, that this is the world that I was going to live in.
Sure.
Just being kind to others, going above and beyond for the people around you that you care about, matters a lot to me. People that have always been in my corner. I'm always giving my grandmother shout outs. She's coming down, staying with me for a couple of months. She's always been my cheerleader, my rock.
There we go. Grandma Volk, come on down to Tampa.
Grandma Lion.
Grandma Lion, even better, even better. Come on down.
She, just the people that have always been in my corner, always try to do for them.
Absolutely.
And just kind of be remembered for those things.
That provides motivation for why we work so hard too, doesn't it?
It does.
Knowing that the family depends on us and they're always proud of us when we put in the effort. So, and I'm sure they're proud of you, bro. You had a great first year. It was great to get to know you a little bit more here on the show. And if anybody does want to pick your brain and follow up with just some questions regarding how you got started and what it was like for you to work with a team and what are things that you're doing now to make it work, or if there's some women out there that just want to ask you out, like what's the best way for someone to contact you?
Facebook, Instagram, like everyone else, Joshua Volk Realtor. Our team page is on there. You can get to me from there too.
Yep.
But just my name, Realtor, all my socials are pretty much that.
Cool, bro. Well, congrats on being featured as a Rising Star in our December issue. And hopefully one day we'll get to feature you again on the cover. Look forward to that too. Down the road, we'll see how that shakes out in 2025 and beyond.
Sounds good.
But we'll end the episode the way we always do, which is a challenge to the audience. So again, interviewing Josh, you can hear his story being somebody who in his first year did just under $10 million in volume, over 30 transactions, dove right in, committed to it. Maybe you're an agent out there who just hasn't seen that traction yet, right? It's your first year in the business, or you're even thinking about getting into real estate, and you can get some inspiration from a story like Josh's, because I think most agents would say, 10 million in their first year is a pretty successful first year in the business. So what's one action step that you can take from our conversation today with Josh that'll help propel you forward personally or professionally? Maybe you need to learn a little bit more about just getting out there with open houses. Josh mentioned that a couple of times, or finding a great team. Josh talked about the importance of that and how his team has supported him in his first year. Whatever that might be. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to ask Josh out a date and you're a girl out there who's open and looking for a man like Josh who's okay with him not being available for you at all. Whatever the case may be, what is one thing, right, that you can do that's going to take action? And then ultimately that is going to be the point of why you invest the time in listening to this show, right, and listening to this podcast. So if you don't already subscribe, click the button below. That way you'll be notified every time a new episode drops, which we drop a new episode every single week. And once again, check us out at topproducersnation.com if you want to learn more about being a part of the community and how to be able to grow your business and become a top producer in your desired market. We will see you, of course, on the next episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. See you later.